Hey guys, it's TJ bringing you a preview of what we got to see of EU4 the Third Rome at PDXCon. This is going to be another one of those videos where I'm talking over something I previously recorded, so things might not sync up completely. But yeah, lots of new mechanics for Eastern Europe, for the Orthodox religion, Russian culture group, and the Russian nation. I loaded into Ryazan to demonstrate the Principality government type, which is what all of the... I believe all of the Russian states begin with in 1444, including Muscovy. You don't become a tsardom unless you form Russia or manually upgrade your government to an empire. So they're all going to start with this Principality government type, which I am going to show off, and then we're going to move on to some of the religious mechanics and some of the new colonization mechanics, which are pretty cool. So yeah, Principality gives you -1 unrest, +5 national tax modifier, but then the really cool thing are these 3 buttons you see down here, which allow you to activate abilities once these bars fill up, which is based on the skill of your monarchs. Oh yeah, Novgorod, by the way, is going to have their own new Republic government type that also gets these, although it wasn't in this build. So yeah, reforming the Sudebnik, -10 autonomy to all provinces. The Diplo one gives you -30% rebel progress, and then the Streltsy raises a certain percentage of your force limit as Streltsy regiments. So yeah, these bars fill up based on your monarch skills, but it's not actually tied to monarch power. It's a separate pool of stuff that you collect, and you can store up to 150 at a time, so you don't have to click them right away. Interestingly, autonomy from the Sudebnik does not affect your absolutism at all, but it does give you minus autonomy in all of your provinces at once. I'm not sure quite how it interacts with unrest. I didn't quite ask about that. But yeah, the Streltsy are interesting because they're a special unit type like banners for the Manchu, where they get a bonus to fire, I believe, but the more of your force limit that is taken up by Streltsy, it actually increases your stability cost modifier, if I remember correctly. So you can get a lot of cheap troops really quick. I don't think they cost manpower to build, but they do cost manpower to reinforce, but your nation will be harder to keep stable while you're taking advantage of that. So that's kind of the trade-off that you get with those guys. There's also another new unit type, other than Streltsy, that is actually tied to estates. You can actually raise Cossacks as a new unit type. That I believe their thing is they get a bonus to shock. And again, they don't cost manpower to raise, but they do cost gold and manpower to reinforce. So it's based on how many provinces you've given to the Cossacks. So here I'm just handing out a couple of provinces to them so that I can do this. And then there's a new subject interaction that is raise Cossack host. And it will raise 1 unit of Cossack Cavalry per province that you've given to the Cossack estate. And they have that gold background to show that they're a special unit type. And yeah, they do more shock damage, I believe, is their main advantage of using them. The trade-off, obviously, being that you have to give a lot of land to the Cossacks, and the Cossacks estate can become quite powerful if you make a lot of use of these guys, which can lead to bad things if you're not careful. So yeah, a couple of new unit types, which is interesting. So yeah, the new thing with the Orthodox religion, I don't think the modifiers for Patriarch Authority, it's themselves have changed. I could be wrong about that because I don't play Orthodox very often, or I haven't in a while. That's the bonus for Max Patriarch Authority. You can do a new thing called Consecrating a Metropolitan, which I'm going to show off a little bit later to get more Patriarch Authority, assuming you have enough development in an area. But the new thing for them is icons, which means you can spend Patriarch Authority to get a specific bonus for 20 years. That St. Michael one, +5% discipline, is pretty scary, given how deep Russia already is. They can now potentially achieve similar quality of troops to the Prussian Space Marines, which is kind of scary, and also they get manpower recovery speed from it. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff in here. So yeah, I think those take 5 Patriarch Authority each, and they last for 20 years, at least in the build that I was looking at. So here's Russia in one of the later start dates. They have that unique Tsardom government type. They still get all of the, you know, the special Russia buttons. I'm not sure what they're going to call those yet. But yeah, they get a national manpower modifier, autonomy change, and plus yearly absolutism, which is pretty useful. And then the other new thing is Russian ideas have changed. So their second idea is now Siberian Frontier, which gives them a unique way to colonize. Siberian Frontier colonies work a little different from regular colonies. They can be placed in any land province with a cored land route to your capital. And they don't take up a colonist. They also auto-discover any provinces around where you establish the frontier. So you pay Diplo power to get it started. And then, from what I can tell, their growth rate isn't actually based on, like, your settler chance or colony growth or any of those special ideas. It's just a flat... I think that I had to unpause the game here to actually get it to show me the growth rate. So we're going to see some random spam from the start date pop up in just a second here. Yeah, I was waiting for it to actually tick. Oh, yeah, everybody gets a golden era. All right. Fun times. Alright, yeah, so I think it grows... Oh, shoot, what was it? I think it's like 10 to 15... 5 to 15, there we go. 5 to 15 per month, and I don't think any modifiers are applied to that. So it's going to be slower than normal colonization, but I don't believe you pay colonial upkeep for it. And, of course, you're limited to, you know, a direct land route traceable back to your capital. So it makes a lot more sense than the old way of doing it. Anyway, here's where I was showing off consecrating a Metropolitan. You have to have at least 30 development in the state, and it increases the state maintenance, but it gives you 5 Patriarch authority immediately, and it also lowers monthly devastation ticks. So a good way to get more Patriarch authority, if you need it, is to conquer and develop land, develop the states you already have, conquer highly developed states, and consecrate them as Metropolitans. I don't know necessarily if they have to be Orthodox to be consecrated. I didn't see any sort of tooltip for that. It would kind of make sense lore-wise or history-wise. But yeah, I'm not actually sure if that's a thing. So I was just kind of clicking around, seeing how many provinces Russia had that could become Metropolitans. Anyway, those are the main new mechanics from this expansion. I hope you guys have enjoyed this preview, and we'll see you next time.